Setting up the pick list and the client captions in the Professional Plus edition is dead easy. It's done from the setup menu at the top. Pick list updates, the top item, and these are the pick lists that you need to consider going through and updating to make sure they're right for you. So the first one is client types. It comes default with commercial, domestic, insurance, landlord and tenant, and we also set the domestic as the default client choice. It's simple. If you want to add a new one, you hit the new button and you can put a new one in here. So if I put agency and then hit tab, that adds agency in. If you want to delete one, just make sure you've selected the one you want to delete. Change the new button at the top here to delete. Hit the delete button and that'll remove that. What we do always recommend that you do is in these pick lists, just immediately change that button back to new. So that's the first one you need to look at, your client types. The second one in here is client type 2. And this is the next custom field down in the client record. Just below the client type 1, there's another selection box and pick list. This comes down set as 1 to 4 stars if you want to grade your clients as a star rating. The next one worth considering is the name titles. We think we've covered most of those in there. The payment methods, so cash, check, credit card, free of charge, and then write off if you're actually writing something off. Plan names, these are the monthly maintenance plan names, so you might add in there, let's pop one in, 12-month plan, and then let's add another one as well, that might be 24-month plan. So you can add those in there and make sure that all your own maintenance plan names are in there. The other one that's in there is quotation categories. These are just on a simple drop-down menu in the diary so that you can quickly add notes onto a booking that's been made, and if you see some of the other videos you'll see where they're used. And again, it's just so that when you arrive at the client's house, if you're doing a visit quote, you know what you're turning up to do, and you can customize that as well. Also, truck mounts. Within the front of the client record there is a drop down list that's headed up truck mounts, and it's if there's no access it's not suitable. If it's required on that job because it's particularly bad or that you've actually used it, you can mark that in the record, and again you can amend and update and change those here. And then the most important two really, where did you find our number today and where did you first hear about us? They're probably going to contain virtually the same information. Where did you first hear about us today is obviously going to include referral, so that's where did you hear about us, a friend told me, so you will put referral in, and then you would ask the second question, where did you get our number today, and that might be that they've given them a notepad, the leaflet, or they've gone onto Google and looked for you. So where did you first hear about us and where did you get our number today? Put all your marketing sources in there and update those so that when you can pick from the list, all the analysis and reporting and statistics is done in the background for you. Now, a key thing with this is you can delete and remove these even if you've used them. This information is stored actually at client level, so it doesn't affect any of the reporting and things like that. So you can delete and remove these if you need to. Otherwise your list will get very long and cumbersome. So they're the pick lists that you can update. The other thing that you can do as well is change the captions for the client type 1 and client type 2. So within the client record, if you don't want to use client type 2 as for instance a star rating, perhaps you want to use that to show whether or not they're a newsletter subscriber, you can change the caption that appears in the record. And where you would do that, if I just close this screen down, is you would do that under the setup menu, client captions, and where we've got this here where it's client type 1 will be called client type 2 that currently says custom field. If you change that to newsletter subscriber and then come out of the system there, that will update that and it will appear as newsletter in front of the client record. So that's it, that's your pick list and your client captions set up.